Hey Algebra. Today what we're working on is the practice quiz for week 7. Hopefully you guys have completed it by the time you're watching this video. And this video just explains how to do all the questions on here. I know that I said that it would have to deal with identifying features of graphs as well as domain and range, but then I realized that everybody in the math department decided we all wanted to give this quiz to our students. So I had to cut out the identifying features of graphs part, and we might see that on next week's quiz. Not sure. Anyways, let's get into it. So this first one, we've never really seen a function with non-numeric inputs before, but it still works. Or a relation, I guess. Because these are my inputs. These are my outputs. And first thing we want to do is identify if it's a function. So this one, I see Ellie is only taking one class, Juan is taking no classes, and Hannah is taking 2. So since there are 2 outputs for the one input, then this is not a function. So our domain here is just a list of all the inputs, and I'm going to use the curly brackets. Okay, there. I'm using the curly brackets, and I'm going to say, well, Ellie, Juan, Hannah. That's my domain. And since it's 3 different things, I would use the curly brackets. And the range is the outputs, which is science and math. And is this discrete or continuous? So since it is 3 individual people, and we don't know if there's anybody else, it's not like testing everybody, it's just these 3 people, this is discrete. Okay, so for number 2, our x is our input, our f of x is the output. So first we need to determine if it's a function. And I see this input, 0, is going to both 0 and a -3. So no, it's not a function because one input has multiple outputs. My domain here, I'm just going to list my inputs. Dang it. Okay, listing my inputs, I would say 0. And even though 0 is there twice, I don't need to say it twice. So I would just say 0, -4, 2. My range, listing the outputs. So my outputs are 0, -3, -1, and 1. And is this one discrete or continuous? Well, I don't know if I can plug in any value of x and get an output from this. I only know about 0, -4, and 2. So this would be discrete because it's just a bunch of dots. If I were to plot this, it would just look like a bunch of points. Okay, number 3. Let's see, we have just some points. And to determine if it's a function or not, I need to see if any of the x values repeat. So let's see, I have 8, 5, -4, and -3 are my x values. Those are all unique x values. So yes, this is a function. The domain is just the x values. So the domain is going to be 8, 5, -4, -3. The range is going to be the y values. So the range is going to be 0, 1, and then we have 0 as our next y value, but we already said 0, so we don't need to repeat it. But the next one is 3. So 0, 1, and 3 is my range. And is this discrete or continuous? Well, that's just a list of 4 points, so that's discrete. Number 4, basically the same thing, just a list of points. My inputs are -9, -3, and -10. Those are all unique inputs, so yes, it's a function. My domain is going to be -9, -3, -10. And my range is going to be the outputs. So the range is going to be 6, -5, -1. Is this discrete or continuous? It's just 3 points. It's discrete. And the last one, hopefully you recognize this from the assignment I had you guys doing yesterday. So is this a function, yes or no? Looking at this line, there's no way that I could draw a vertical line through this and have it not pass the vertical line test. There's no way I could draw a vertical line through it and have that vertical line pass through 2 separate points on this green line. So yes, this is a function. My domain of the function is left to right. So left to right, this goes from there until there. So that is from -4 up to 3. And actually, why did I just do that? How do I redo? Okay, whatever. I'm not going to be using my curly brackets here. This one is a continuous domain. Like we were talking about yesterday. And if it's going from -4 to 3, and we can see on both ends, there's an open circle, meaning that it's going to have parentheses because it's not actually going to touch -4 or 3. So -4 up to 3, and we're going to use our interval notation there. I know that looks like a point, that's an interval. That's saying from -4 to 3, that is where my domain exists. Well, anything between -4 and 3. It won't actually be -4 or 3 because I can tell because there are parentheses there. My range here, well, that's up and down. So the range is from there all the way to there. Let's see. The lowest is -2 up to 4. And the range actually does exist there at -2. Like there's an actual point there, not an open circle. At 4 though, there's a closed circle at -2. At 4 though, there's an open circle. So I'm going to have -2 with a bracket up to 4 with a parenthesis, I guess. Because it can't actually touch 4, but it does touch -2. And you want the smaller number first and then the larger number. And then finally, is this discrete or continuous? This is continuous because over this interval, there are no gaps. It just goes straight from -4 to 3 without stopping. And that would be the answers to the practice quiz. And if you can do this practice quiz, you can do the actual quiz tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions, but let's beat the other math classes at this, guys. We got this. I'll see you guys tomorrow.